Welcome to Midday on this Friday afternoon. Our first guest joining us, the mayor of Kamloops, Ken Christian himself. Thank you so much for being here.
It's always a pleasure.
I know you have a really busy Friday, Ken, so we really appreciate you making time for us today. We wanted to talk a little bit about a couple of hot-button topics that came out of council, I believe, this week, one of which is the busking bylaw. This one really, I think, caught a lot of people's attention just because I guess what you're proposing is to have a charge for anyone who performs, who's busking really, and they need to pay to be part of the art council, and then there's an annual fee on top of that. Is that right?
Right. Well, first of all, it wasn't in council. This came out of a committee meeting that we had this week, and really it's a proposal that will at some point in time come before council, and we're looking, to refine it. But really, what it is to have a platform for young artists, young emerging artists, to be able to perform on our streets, and separating that from panhandling, really. And so, they're looking at different bylaws that have been used in other communities. Victoria is one that seemed to be fairly successful with a busking bylaw, and they're looking at it in the context of us hosting the second annual Buskers Festival here in Kamloops. So, it's work in progress, and I'm looking forward to seeing what finally comes before council, probably in the next couple of months, because we want to have something in place before summer.
What happens, Ken, if there's someone who really enjoys playing their music for an audience walking along the sidewalk? They've got their guitar and they're just trying to make ends meet. How does that work? And then they're expected to pay this fee. I mean, is there thought around that at all, or?
We're not going to send an army of bylaw officers out to, adjudicate musicians. What we really want to do is make sure that bona fide musicians and emerging artists have a space in which to perform and improve. And there is a very fine distinction between people that are essentially panhandling on the street, staying at the same street corner for a long period of time, disrupting pedestrian traffic and that kind of thing. So, this is not about a money grab. This is not about having lots of bylaw activity. This is simply about making our streets entertaining and giving a performance venue for emerging artists.
Okay. I also wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Interior Health Medical Health Officer, having a medical health officer in Kamloops. I know that, I understand there's 5 in Kelowna, is it? And we don't have one here in Kamloops. I know that's something that was discussed this week, and you were quite passionate about that. Can you tell us why?
Well, I have a history of working in public health and a history of working with some absolutely fabulous medical health officers, the most recent of which was Dr. James Liu when he was here and stationed in Kamloops. I think having a resident medical health officer helps the community understand a lot of the public health initiatives. Vaccine preventable disease is a big one right now. Certainly harm reduction is a big one. And, the fact that they are centralized in Kelowna, maybe there's an economy of scale there, but what I need to know as the mayor of Kamloops is that we're getting our share of those services. And right now, I think, the inability of them to even appear on television, such as your station, the inability of them to do the circuit of the Rotary clubs, talk to the Chamber of Commerce, talk to the business associations, and really have that public health presence in Kamloops, I think, is missing. And that's something that council has resolved to raise with the Interior Health Authority.
And I think, too, that's important because, we've talked before about Kamloops, about Royal Inland Hospital being, a hospital that services a lot of outlying communities as well. So, I mean, is the need that much greater when we have one hospital servicing many different areas?
Yeah, I mean, Royal Inland is one of 2 tertiary hospitals within the Interior Health Authority, and the kind of specialist complement that you would expect in a tertiary hospital has to be here. Right now we're struggling with, a number of specialties like anesthesiology and, some of the gastroenterology kinds of positions, but that stems and flows with the availability of manpower within those specialties. But, right now, I think the one thing that is missing in terms of the discussion about the opioid crisis is a medical health officer.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Ken. Wonderful. We really appreciate your time. We know you're busy, so we'll let you go. For more information to get a hold of Ken, there you go. There it is on the screen. We're back in a moment, and we're talking about the Kamloops Extreme Makeover Contest coming up. Stay with us.